You ever feel like you're doing everything right, working hard, pushing yourself, but the finish line keeps moving?
Yeah, that old story, hard work equals success, it's inspiring. Until you realize it doesn't seem to work the same for everyone.
That's what we're unpacking today. We're diving into the bold, challenging ideas in a recent book titled Equality: What It Means and Why It Matters by economist Thomas Piketty and philosopher Michael Sandel.
The book tackles one big unsettling question. Is our belief in meritocracy actually making inequality worse?
Piketty brings decades of economic data showing widening wealth gaps. Sandel adds the moral and philosophical lens, why we justify those gaps in the first place.
At its core, meritocracy says, if you're talented and you work hard, you deserve success. It's supposed to be fair.
But Piketty and Sandel argue that this ideal often hides how rigged the game really is. For a lot of people, it's not a ladder, it's a wall.
And here's where it gets deep. Sandel points out that meritocracy doesn't just skew outcomes, it shapes identities. Winners believe they earned it all. Losers blame themselves.
That creates what he calls moral superiority, and its shadow, that is, shame. It erodes dignity, fractures trust, and hides the very real structural barriers behind failure.
Let's talk about those barriers. Imagine two students. One has access to elite schools, tutors, networking, a safe and supportive home. The other doesn't.
On paper, they're in the same system. But in practice, one's already halfway up the ladder. The other's still looking for it.
This is what the book calls the illusion of meritocracy, how we confuse structural privilege for individual merit.
So how do we fix it? Their most radical proposal: lotteries.
For college admissions, here's how it works. Anyone who meets a basic threshold enters a draw. Selections are made at random.
It flips the system. No more legacy admissions, no more coaching or inflated resumes, just a real shot for anyone who's qualified.
And it doesn't stop at universities. They're talking about politics, too.
Right, reviving an ancient idea called sortition, used in Athenian democracy and today in citizens' assemblies in Ireland and France.
Imagine a parliament with mechanics, nurses, teachers, not just career politicians or those backed by big donors.
It sounds radical, but maybe radical is what we need.
These proposals make a lot more sense when you bring in sociology. Take Pierre Bourdieu's concept of cultural capital.
It's not just about what you know, it's how you speak, what you wear, what you like. All those invisible signals of belonging passed down through families.
Same with Max Weber's idea of status groups. Power isn't just money, it's prestige. Whose voice gets taken seriously? Who's seen as leadership material?
These are the codes of elite spaces, and most people never get the decoder ring.
Piketty and Sandel push us to ask, what if inequality isn't a glitch, but the design?
What if the system we call fair is actually built to reward the already advantaged, and blame the rest?
And what if we reimagined that system from the ground up, not just who wins the race, but how the race is run?
These aren't just academic ideas. Think about today's challenges: climate justice, migration, polarization, rising authoritarianism.
Communities least responsible for global crises often suffer the most. That's inequality on a planetary scale.
This book doesn't offer easy answers, but it invites us to ask harder questions about fairness, dignity, and how we live together.
Here are a few ways to dig deeper. Read Equality, what it means and why it matters. Read Sandel's The Tyranny of Merit to explore where these ideas started. Check out Pierre Bourdieu's Cultural Capital and Weber's Status Groups, Essential Sociology, and Research Sortition, how lotteries have been used in democracies past and present.
Because understanding how inequality really works, that's step one to changing it. If this got you thinking, hit like, drop a comment, and share it with someone who still believes merit is all it takes.
And don't forget to subscribe. We've got more bold ideas coming about democracy, justice, and the future we want to build.